Right, well that's the Yuletide done and dusted for another year, and now we've got Boxing Day. I hope you've all enjoyed your Christmases, and as promised on Twitter, I said I was going to do a review. But you may be thinking, well, where is what you're going to review today? Because it's not in shot at the moment. It's vanished into thin air. No, I'll get it in shot in a second. To show some of the other things I got for Christmas, there are some photos on Twitter, but for those of you that aren't, then I shall show you in this video. First of all, I got this, which is a garden shed. I have no idea who it's made by because it didn't come in a box, it came in a bag. Then also I got a couple of cars. Now these are made by Corgi Trackside, these are, so these will be the first ones made by Corgi on the layout. First off we have a police van, which is a Morris Minor, and also we have an ambulance. So all I need now is a fire engine, and then in terms of emergency services on the layout, it will be perfect, so I'll have them all. Other bits and bobs, I got these benches to go on the station, and also I got these, and these have working lights, so you wire them up, and well, they have working lights basically. Let's just say that. So you have some old street lamps, and you have these, which are used on a Pelican crossing, and there's some guide on the back how to do it, but these won't be stuck on the light until the new year, but it'll be good for when the lights are turned off. It really will, and it will make it look realistic as well. And then we have some other things, such as some cows and some horses. A bag of people, there's 100 in there, because it says on the bag. And we have some sheep. And of course, I also got a bag of scatter, or a bag full of scatters, as you can see. And I got some other bits and bobs as well, such as plenty of sweets and chocolate, and the other odds and sods. And of course, I also got a locomotive. So, the locomotive will be shot in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! There you go, magic. No, that was terrible. Peter, don't do that again. You're not Dynamo. In fact, he's much better than you are. And so, look at this. We are not looking at something made by Hornby and Batman. We are looking at Heljan. And it's been a while since I had anything from Heljan. The last model I bought was in 2012, which was the Metrovic Kobo, which is a stunning model. In fact, you'll find the two-parter review on YouTube. On my YouTube account, sorry. Oh, there's a needle there, sticking out from under the box. I'll just get rid of that. Don't know how it got there. And it's fair to say, when it comes to buying model trains, it's like swings and roundabouts, because usually I end up going for Hornby and Batman. I don't very often go for Heljan. But I've got a Heljan model now, which is different, and without even having to look on the end of the box at the information to see what it is, you can clearly see from the instructions, even though they're upside down, it's a Class 47, and it's in Virgin Trains red and grey, and it's numbered 47806, as you can see there. Now you may be thinking, well, don't you already have a Virgin Trains Class 47? Well, I did have. It was a Lehman model. However, I got rid of it to get a much detailed and more reliable Heljan model. I do know that V-Trains do them as well, but I didn't want a V-Trains one. Besides, they get it to stick 1,000 bits on it. But in terms of the Lehman model, that had a few problems. For starters, it wouldn't go around the corners on the layout, and so I had to grease them up so they could go around. And then a wire snapped off the motor, so I had to solder it back on. And I couldn't be bothered with it anymore, so I sold it off. And so now I have this one. Result. But what's even cooler is, I also have some coaches to go with it. So there's one. There's another one, which is the brake. As you can see. There's another one. And there's another one. Basically, there are 3 composites and a brake. And I will be looking at these in this video as well. But for now, we'll take them off shot. And we'll have a look at the loco. Now I won't be doing any history lessons on this because I've done it before. And I'm more interested in getting to the model today. As I think we all are. So here's the old style Heljan packaging, because they no longer use foam, believe it or not. They now use plastic packaging like Hornby and Batman. But this is a much older style of Heljan box, because this one has the plastic window. Later ones didn't have it. And also this box is made from more softer cardboard and not as tough as the other box. So you could stamp up and down on this and it would flatten easy. The other boxes they brought out after this, they're more tough and robust, so you could stamp up and down on that and it wouldn't go to shape. In fact, you could even try and run it over with a steam roller and it wouldn't flat. Then we have the instructions for the Class 47. I already do have some instructions for this in my folder, but I can still keep hold of these. And it's basically where to fit the details, adding additional parts, chipping it, not literally fitting it with the DC decoder. And then here you have the assembly. And of course there are little numbers by them, so if there's a part missing, for example, you can always order it. Well, that's bizarre. It's that marketing coupling that you've seen on Batman DMUs. Didn't think Heljan should play with one of them. And of course, if there are some detail parts missing, you can always get some new ones. Well, when I mean get some new ones, order them. That's what it's there for, mainly. And so now look at the details. So first of all we have some snowplows. Now it's interesting to note that Virgin Trains livery 47s didn't have any snowplows, or at least not the ones I saw back in the childhood days, because in my childhood days this was one of the regular liveries of 47s I saw, because I do remember seeing these hauling the cross-country trains with these Mark IIs that they once used to pull, until they were replaced with the Voyagers. Not entirely sure why they needed the Voyagers in the first place, because these 47s did a great job of it to start with. And that was actually something that you could take photos and videos of, if you know what I mean. But I do remember seeing these running over New Slane Level Crossing, pulling in and out of Wolverhampton Station, and I do remember going on a few canal boat trips as well when I was little. And I do remember seeing these roaring past on the main line with the cross-country services, and the driver would always be kind enough to blow his horn. But yeah, in terms of these snowplows, none of them I saw had snowplows fitted. Or I've dropped it. Oh well. At least it's landed right in the box. And then in here we have some other details. We have these. I absolutely have no idea what these is. I think it's some sort of close coupling, but I don't really like them. In fact, we have another one there. And then we have these curious bits of detail. I'm not sure what they are. Oh well. And there are some other bits and bobs in here, such as if you can just get them out. And that's everything. So you have the couplings. Now you get 2 of these, I'll only use the one, but the other one can go into the spares box, so that's really nice. Now you only get one of these, but usually get four of these weird square oval like buffers. I don't know why Heljan supply you with these, because, well, 47s in reality didn't really have this shape of buffers, so I don't know what that's about. Then you have these, which is a jump cable connector, which this one is slightly different to the ones Heljan supply you with, actually. But you never know. I do have plenty of spares anyway, my spares box, as I speak. Because the one Heljan supplies you with doesn't have a clip on the end there to slot into a hole, which is weird. Then you have a vacuum pipe, along with another one, which I must admit this one is slightly odd looking, but there you go. And then, and this is the first for Heljan, is this, well, Heljan haven't actually supplied you with this, actually, I must admit. Obviously the previous owner, because this model is second hand, obviously put these in the box. It's one of these chain link couplings that Hornby and Batman supply you with now. The only thing is with Batmans though these days is they don't seem to fit in the little holes in the buffer beam. With Hornby's it's always a winner. And what I like about these is you can actually fold them up round over the hook when not in usage, so you can have it like that. Usually that's always how I have my chain link couplings. Okay, so the details are done, now let's get the model out. And all we need to do is to just get it out carefully from out the phone. I must admit though, there's a bit of dust on the model. With this foam packaging, it's, well, I prefer the lighter stuff because, well, it is nice and soft, but, well, there's something about the lighter packaging that seems to do it more. And so now, we'll have a look at the loco. Well, the first things first is, there's a lot of weight in this model. It's quite heavy, but you need the weight, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to pull those 4 coaches that I have, which will look stunning later on when we run it. And of course also I won't be able to pull anything full stop, so the only thing it will be used for, well, useful for should I say, is a shelf model. Right, so what have we got in terms of detail? You have nice bogey detail, as you can see. The fuel tank is very nicely detailed. There's not much to say about it, but then it's not the most interesting part anyway. The buffers are not sprung on this model, but then in fairness, you do actually pull these buffers out because the buffer beam actually does come off to get the snowplows in. If at least what I've heard is correct, because that is what I've heard. Don't know if it's true, but I'm sure it is. But then again, I wouldn't want to try it myself anyway. Then here's all the little holes where the detailing has to go. Although in fairness, because of how soft this plastic is that they use for the buffer beam, it's always to make the holes bigger anyway. You have some warning signs on the model, as you can see, and some nicely painted handrails there as well, which are painted white, which makes it look stand out. And then you have these lights. Now they do light up. I do believe it's this one that lights up coming towards you and these lighting up when it goes away from you. There's some nice glazing in all cab windows like there should be, and wipers on the windows. And there is some seats in the cab as well, but the detailing in the cab alas is not painted. There's the number, 47806. There's a bit of dust there, just get it off. And there's the tops panel. There's some handrails down the doors there on the sides, and another warning sign. The doors don't open, but that's Hornby's thing really. But there is an accurate Virgin logo there though. There's even glazing in these small windows here. There's another warning sign here, and this is the door where it opens up to the engine. And the livery is spot on. The red is accurate. You've got the white stripes on the bottom, or the red arrows, as some people call it. And the black as well. It's more accurate. Well, it's called red and grey really, but it's more identical to black really, the colour. But it's accurate with this one though, because on the Lehman model the grey was too light. So well done Heljan for that. Then the roof is painted a nice black. I won't weather the roof, but weather the roof. Sorry, I won't be doing that. But there's detailing on there, such as these grills. They have a nice texture. There's the exhaust as well, and then you got all these panels on the top. You could paint them if you wanted to, I suppose, but then in reality they didn't really have, well, not all of them had painted panels anyway. Some of them probably did, but then in my days I wasn't looking at the roof anyway. And then there's grills at the top with the fans underneath. Now they don't spin, bear in mind, but again that's more a Hornby's thing. But again, 9 times out of 10 you're not always going to be looking at the roof, are you? Because us rail enthusiasts, well, we don't look at the roofs on the locomotives. I do like how this window is open here though. Some people on the internet, on these forums, have said they don't like it, but you can't please everybody. And the other end is just as detailed, as you can see. It's the same detail as the front. And this side is the same level of detail. Handrails, accurate livery application, another window that's out half open, warning signs, there's that door where it opens up to the engine, what you would in real life. And that's about it for detailing really. So she is a cracking model. So I'm now going to move the locomotive out of the way so we can look at the coaches. Right, now we're only going to be looking at 2 of these coaches, because when it comes to the composites they're the same. The brake coach is different though, of course. So this is why I'm looking at these 2. Okay, so first of all we will start with the composite. So these are all made by Hornby. They're not as easy to get hold of though, I must be honest, because Hornby have discontinued them a while ago, and I don't know why. Because these are really good coaches. The only place to get hold of them really is if you look in a model shop that might sell them, such as S&J Models, but I think eBay is probably the place to go for really, to try and shop around. Anyway, so the bogies are very nice with painted red springs, as accurate in real life. The couplings are removable, but they're not them. I know this one is missing its coupling hook, but who cares? Because if they still connect, that's all that matters. My only problem I do have with these style of removable coupling sockets, as I prefer to call them, is they aren't as easy to put back in, but there you go. This does use Airfix later Lima tooling, but Hornby are to bring out in 2014 a new tooling of Mark II, so that could be interesting to see. The buffers are not sprung, as you can see, but then, oh well. The corridor gangway connection is very nicely detailed, as well as all this detailing on the ends, such as the handrails and the warning signs. And C1, we know what that means, and I know what it means, so I'm not going to bother saying it. The bogies are happily to free turn around at 180 though, which is slightly irritating, but there you go. The wheels are made of plastic, though you could replace them with metal wheels if you wanted to. The underframe detail is there. There's glazing in all the windows, and they're flushed as well so they don't bulge out, and it's not blacked out either. There's some nice door handles here as well, and this couch is F, and these are where the toilets would be. So maybe this lavatory is for the gents and this one is for the ladies. And hopefully there'll be no perving going on in these couches. I didn't say that out loud. Well, I hope not anyway. But we can just edit it out. And there are some seats in the coach. And so you can add seating passengers in here if you wanted to. I might do that, but that'll be a later date sort of thing. The roof is, well, usual standard roof quality. Not really the most exciting thing to look at. But the livery again is spot on. Exactly how I remember it from my childhood days. So, and I do like the yellow paint as well underneath the steps here as well. Okay, so that's the composite done. Now for the brake. And as you can see on this end, I have taken the coupling out because I do have an idea for this later. So the underframe detailing is there, and so is the bogie detail with the red springs. Buffers again are not sprung, but the gangway, it's pretty much the same as the other one. You've got the gangway there, C1 and all this other detailing, which is basic, but you could improve it I suppose if you wanted to. Accurate livery application. Glazing in, well, in these windows here of course, and the seats in there as well. And you've got the bogs for the gents and the ladies, or as they call them, public conveniences. You've got some doors here. This one is the private door, and that's for emergency use only. So that's nice detail there. And this is coach A. Yep, it's coach A. Got some nice handrails there. All bad focus. And all this is where the guard would be. There's some nice more detail in here as well. The roof again, it's nice black, like it should be, but it's not the most interesting to look at. There are a few rivets on the roof, I'll give it that, but, you know, oh well. And that's basically about it for the brake. Not a lot to say, but what I do plan to do, and this will be something I'll be doing in the new year, is adding a flashing tail lamp on the end of the coach. Because that'll look pretty cool and realistic. So it'll be nice to add a bit more realism to it. Okay. So we've looked at the locomotive and the coaches. So let's get them on the track and see what they're like. Right, so here we are at the layout, and just look at the shine reflecting from the sun in that part. Looks really nice. So, we're going to get the new 47 onto the tracks, and we're going to run it with the coaches. Now, I will be honest, I have given this a test run already. I did it last night. It was only a quickie. And, in fact, we'll do that now, actually, to show you just how smooth this model runs. Okay, well, that wasn't exactly smooth, but then again, there is a wheel off. Oh yeah, look at that. Now that's really smooth. Okay, so we'll just drive it out of the way. So I can get the coaches on. Look at that condensation in there. Okay, so we'll get the first coach on. Now, there's an interesting thing with this one I've noticed, which is different to the others, because there's a big one on the side. On these ends here, so it must be first class. Actually, yeah, it is first class, because of the yellow bands on the top. So, we'll just stick that one on. There we go. Oh, well, we'll just put it there and back it up anyway. Next we'll put this one on. In fact, actually it's probably best altogether we move the locomotive out. There we go. You can come back in a minute. Right, so them two are coupled up. Now for this one, well, obviously, And now for the brake. So just push them out with a shot. Well, not entirely out of shot, as you can see. But it's out of shot anyway. So, there's the brake. Composite, and composite, which is first class. Now look at that. That already brings a huge grin to my face. In fact, I've got all flashbacks now going on in my mind of when I was a little child, seeing these trains. So now we'll bring the 47 back and we'll couple up gently. And now we'll get this little babe going. Oh crikey. Okay, I know what I've gone and done. I forgot to put the coupling in. Right, that was a blonde moment. In fact, actually, the police have just arrived on the scene. Right, let's cut it with the silliness. Let's be more serious about it. But yeah, in all the excitement of wanting to see this locomotive running with the coaches, I've forgotten to put the coupling in. So I'll have to do that now. So I'll be back. Okay. After that slight mishap, the coupling is now in. It wasn't easy to fit in, I'll be honest. But wow. I just can't fault this model. So, let's get her going. Oh wow, look at that. Okay, so she's running really well, there's no grinding noises or anything. She's running really smoothly. Wow. I've just got all my childhood memories now going on. So as you can see, the working light is there, as you can see. So here she goes, passing the engine shed where all 4 of the class 20s are parked up, ready for the next duties. Passing the seaside, which is like a ghost town at this point, or should I say a ghost beach. But there will be some people on there and detailing on it later, but that's in the new year, right to come. And here she goes, passing the station, where all the invisible enthusiasts are taking photos of her. She passes the sidings, where the J83 is waiting, which I must point out that loco will soon be sold off. Under the tunnel, over the level crossing, under the bridge, past the town where the houses are in the background and a few cars, where the driver imaginarily blows his horn in reply, passing the seaside again, and back to where we started from. So what's left to say about these models then? Well, it's a real privilege to recreate something on my legs that I saw in my childhood memories. Something I saw on a regular basis, bear in mind. And the driver's enjoying himself there in the cab as well. Or herself, it might be a woman. There's nowhere that states that there can't be female train drivers. But well, what epic Christmas presents. And in just a matter of, well, 4 days now, it will be my birthday, so I'll get some more presents. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll see you again soon.